I'll call the Building and Zoning Committee meeting to order Wednesday, August 6th at approximately 9:17. And in the absence of Commissioner Arman, who's chair, I'm vice chair, so I'll be leading the meeting. First item on the agenda is receipt of monthly Citizens Committee meeting minutes. See attached. Any questions or comments on those minutes? Not seeing any. I'll call for their approval. All those in favor say aye.
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 Oh, the citizens go. Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't specify. Planning Commission. Since the Historical and Architectural Review did not meet, the Planning Commission. Tom Cross and his excellent people on the Planning Commission, they have been busy, but were there any questions on the Planning Commission meeting minutes? Okay. I'll move for approval of the Planning Commission meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, number 2, receipt of staff reports for June 2025. Okay, first is Planning and Zoning monthly reports. Any questions on those?
Mr. Chairman, I do.
Yes, Commissioner Sigmund.
I don't know if Mr. Rubin is online, but the click here
Yes,
for the reports to get the sub reports for each of those particular areas. It's very in the old days, it was easy to do that and to look at the reports. I think there has to be some work on that function because it's very hard to get that into a legible or readable format in some of the platforms that I use. It can't be done on the mobile phone, and I have difficulty doing it on my iPad. So I would just raise the fact that I was unable to look at the details when I tried to, and I'd ask notification go to Mr. Rubin to make sure that in OpenGov maybe there's a different way of organizing it so that can be reviewed on multiple platforms.
yeah, so what Commissioner Zingmanfeld is referring to, in case anyone's not aware, these reports, which used to be done in narrative form and attached, as a result of our further enhancements with our OpenGov software, are now attached, and there's a tremendous amount of information, which I agree, Commissioner Zingmanfeld. I was flipping through it, and it does take a while to get used to it, and I think we perhaps need some additional assistance in seeing the detail behind it. But on the really positive side, there's a lot of information there, and this information is available to the public. So from a transparency point of view, the public is being provided with all the work that is being done behind the scenes, whether it's planning and zoning or the building inspector or the code administrator. All of the work that they're doing is being noted there, and it should prove very helpful to both the staff, commissioners, as well as residents.
If only it would be easily legible.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Disagreement there. So any questions? Henry, you don't have any comments on planning and zoning reports?
No, sir.
Then we'll vote on them all three together. I'll move on to report of the building inspector. Any questions or comments on that report?
Nope.
Okay, sorry, I was just reading Jeffrey Ploutz thanking us. So, okay. And how about report of the code administrator?
I do have a question for
Yes.
Mr. Lynch. The corner of Old York Road and Elkins / Cheltenham Hills continues to be a jungle, and it has just gotten worse. I am just wondering where we stand on trying to address this mess.
So to address your question, working with Henry, citations have been filed with the courts. Because we no longer, I mean, this is every year with this guy. No more violations. We're right to citation. We filed them with the court, and I'm waiting to hear back on a hearing date to get the property owner in front of the judge. I did have a conversation with the judge explaining that this is an ongoing issue, a repeat offender every single year. So the judge has a little insight into that to be a little harsher with this property owner. So my plan with this is to try and get him in front of the judge and get him to fix this before we embate it and send our guys out there to cut it. And then we're, having to chase him down to get reimbursed and everything like that.
Hey, Scott, which judge does this go in front of?
I believe this one's Sersky.
Okay.
Mr. Diazio, do we have any recourse other than continuing to cite year after year and bringing him before the judge and allowing him to thumb his nose at us every year?
The remedy for code violations is through district court. That's the legal remedy. That said, our judges in Cheltenham, my experience is that when there are repeat offenders, the court, though they can't hold it against someone because of prior violations, they are aware of the habitual offenders and they act accordingly. So,
is there ever a time where their ownership becomes their ownership in a property can be not revoked, but I mean, I don't know what recourse do we have? I mean, if this was a property that was off the beaten path, that was not visible. I mean, that's one of the first things you see as you come in, and I just feel like it is just a slap in the face of everyone in this community who tries to keep their properties looking nice to allow this guy to get off with a few $100 fine.
I mean, there are times when, depending on what's wrong with the property, if the grass isn't being cut, if there's trees that are falling down that are dying, the township can go onto a property, perform the work, and then lien the property for the cost to do so. So that's one option in terms of how to fix a problem. In terms of ownership of a property becoming at issue, the property would have to deteriorate to such a condition that it would be essentially condemned, right? It would have to deteriorate to such an unsafe condition that township officials would have to be in a position to deem it uninhabitable or unsafe for occupancy.
Yeah. Just 1 second, but Mr. Diazio, isn't one of the problems with the township putting a lien on a property that has no effect until they go to sell the property? And
Correct.
Okay, and to Commissioner Cherico's point, and because I share your concern, Commissioner Cherico, not just with that property, but with some other properties, some of these properties have been just sitting vacant for years. So I would actually not want our township staff to go onto the property and do the work, because we're putting them to work, and the lien, I really think they ignore that, thinking, that could be 10 years in the future before they have to deal with that.
It could be, and my office satisfies liens as properties transfer, and it's not uncommon for us to be looking at a lien from 2009 or 2011. You do get interest on that lien, and you do get attorney's fees. So you do recover your costs, you do recover interest, but a property could sit 100 years, right, with ownership, and you don't get paid until the property changes hands.
And I think what my concern is, it is also that property is dangerous.
No.
It is a dangerous property. It is a place that people could easily get hurt on who go onto that property. And I might ask ask the board for perhaps asking the staff to look into whether that property is in fact safe or not, and if it's not, then I truly think we need to try to take more action than just continue to allow this to happen year after year. I mean, Mr. Lynch does a great job, and I know he's good at what he does, but he can only be as responsive as the courts will allow. And I really think that maybe it's time that we look to see whether this property has deteriorated to an unsafe condition.
Commissioner Rappaport,
I have
you're
a
waiting.
question. Can I jump in here? So Ed, sort of not to play devil's advocate, but what happens when we go to do it and the resident says, "Get off my property. I don't want you on my property."
No, we shouldn't do it.
I mean, do we have the permission just to go on someone's property and do it? I get it's ugly and it's not safe, but if a resident comes out and say, "What are you doing? Get off my property."
Well,
It's a vacant lot.
there's a notification process. I don't know if Scott or Bo could speak to that, but the township does work from time to time. The township cuts grass, the township removes.
Yeah, I know.
debris.
Yeah, I know we do that. Yeah.
So it does happen. In terms of what the township's practice is when a resident comes out and becomes challenging to work with, I'm not sure what the staff's current take on that is. I don't know if we leave and try to come back. That would be a question for staff.
I'll take that one. Commissioner Rapport, let me answer this and then we'll get to you. So, commissioners, in that case, if it goes to abatement, and what I mean by that is we go through Bo and Kyle, they're gonna send a crew out to do it. They usually let us know when they're gonna be out there. And someone from my team, one of my inspectors is out there also. If it becomes where the property owner comes out and everything like that, then yeah, safety first. We'll, remove ourselves from the act. I'll call for a police car to come out, and then the police officer and I'll talk to the homeowner. But notification, as Ed said, they first get a violation notice. You have 10 days. You don't cut your grass in 10 days. Then it goes to citation. If it goes on, and you still don't cut your grass and it becomes, numerous complaints, it becomes a nuisance, then we'll send the guys out to do it. But yeah, if the resident comes out and starts screaming and hollering, we just pack up and,
Okay.
we let the judge know that also, that the home very uncooperative with us.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Scott.
Commissioner
Rappaport. Thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is not new. I think, I may be wrong. I think we're talking 6 or 7 years at this point. It may even be longer. There's a sight distance problem. There isn't just a vegetation problem. There's rotting concrete, falling concrete in there too. There's a foundation that is not stable. I think it is ready for condemnation. Now, Mr. Lynch is working on a court date, but I think it needs to be very clear that if it isn't maintained after that, condemnation, the township should, and I don't know how much that costs, but I think it also sends a message that we're serious. We're protecting our taxpayers and our residents and businesses who try to make an effort. And there's no effort being made here at all. Even their for sale sign is obscured. So it is a current danger for traffic that cannot really see adequately beyond. So thank you. Because of the hill and all that.
So can we ask to proceed with condemnation on this?
I think we should say right now that we should vote to that would be the next step if we're not getting consistent.
And
I'll talk with Mr. Lynch between now and the 20th when the board meets again, and we can bring a recommendation if that's okay. I don't think you need to take a vote. I think we hear the issue, and I've made a note here. Scott and I will talk this week.
And Scott, I know the fines, there are variable amounts. So I'm sure in a case like this or in other severe cases, you're to the extent there's flexibility, you're pushing for higher fines versus sometimes I'm sure just the minimum is imposed.
So for the repeat offenders, when we turn the paperwork into the judge, we tell them it's a repeat offender. We want the maximum fine. And they note that, so they're aware of that.
Thank you, Scott. Any other questions on the code administrator or building inspector reports? Okay, then I'm going to take all three of them. 2A, B, and C, planning and zoning, building inspector, code administrator. I'll move for acceptance of all three of these June 2025 reports. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Any old business for building and zoning? Not seeing any. I'm not seeing any. I'll move on to new business. Any new business for building and zoning? How about any citizens forum for the Building and Zoning Committee? Darlene, welcome to the Building and Zoning Committee.
Good evening. Just one quick question. You're right, this issue is going on throughout the township, and hi, Scott. I just have one question. The hearing for B and D, are residents allowed to attend? There are some community residents that are still kind of concerned about the property, and thank you for putting some type of border around it for safety. So that's my, because the question was asked of me, like, I don't know.
Ed, do you want to?
Yeah, is this a proceeding? This is a proceeding in district court?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I believe it's with Judge, oh gosh,
it would either be with Judge Sersky or Judge Madden.
Skursky, yes.
Okay, yes, those proceedings are open to the public. The public's welcome to join those proceedings. Court proceedings are a little bit different than a public meeting in that there's not an opportunity, for example, for like public comment, or the
Okay.
court doesn't look at the audience and say, does anyone want to speak? But you can absolutely attend and be a witness to the proceedings. And if you have firsthand knowledge, or you've taken pictures, or you have other evidence that could be relevant, you should get that to the township folks, because there are times when the township will call residents as witnesses at court.
Okay, I'll pass that information on.
Thank
and
you.
Get pictures to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Darlene. Any other yes, we have another fine citizen who would like to make a comment for the building and zoning. Brad Bransky.
Fine
Welcome.
citizen is negotiable. This is just a trip down memory lane. That issue at Cheltenham in York has been going on since early on when I was a commissioner, which brings us back over 9 years now. And it was the guy was originally building a dentist office for his son. Then his son changed his mind or whatever. And from that point forward, we constantly ran into problems. So if you look in the file, Scott, which I'm sure you'll love to do, you'll find we've been hitting this guy with fines for at least a half a dozen years or more.
Yes, and if I can add to that, Henry and I earlier this year actually met with him and his wife, and he had his ideas. He was going to submit plans. He was going to build there anyway. And again, here we are. That was probably 4 months ago, at least, Henry, I think. So he's a ghost right now. But Henry and I are on this, and we'll keep everybody apprised.
Hey, and Scott, I'm sorry to belabor it, but you just reminded me. We have a vacant property ordinance. How does, and with a fee that we charge for vacant properties, and they have to register with the township? How does that impact this?
That is correct. And this property is on the vacant registry property. The former employee made sure of that. And there is associated fees that are, I believe, up to date, to be honest with you, but we just don't maintain it.
And I guess to my fellow commissioners, perhaps we should look to increase the fees at a minimum on vacant properties, because it seems apparent to me that I know fees are not from our township solicitor are not permitted to be excessive. But I think there's a justification that the time spent by our township staff is probably more than we originally anticipated in following up on these vacant properties and monitoring them.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, Commissioner Norris. And really where you have to pay most attention to that is when you have fees for permits and things like that. Those are fees that particularly can't be excessive, but for the types of fees that we're talking about, the board has more flexibility there. So you're coming up at that time of the year where you address your fee schedule. So perhaps it's something that will be taken under consideration with this budget cycle.
Yeah, and I don't know if we currently have a differentiation between residential properties and commercial properties. I'm not saying we need to, but it occurs to me that perhaps these commercial properties deserve higher fees because of what appears to me the apparently higher time required. So our township manager, I see she's already nodded that she's going to factor that into the end of the year discussions.
Will that help our budget, Allison?
It'll balance the budget. Mr. Lynch, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, two additional things. So while we're talking about this, so we have the 613 Cheltenham Avenue property that you and I have talked about before. Same
Yes.
for 1 Asbury. Again, we're waiting for hearing dates on them from the courts. Things continue to happen there. Grass isn't getting cut. Trash is being, dropped off and everything like that. So it's not going unnoticed.
Yeah.
But we're, working on trying to get that clean up also. While you're talking.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but why do the hearing dates take? Because this has been going on for a number of weeks that we've been waiting for a hearing date.
Yeah, I know. It's just, we're waiting to hear from the judge's office when the hearings are. We go through.
Get that. Could you try again?
Sorry, we go through the process. We do the violation, we do the citations, we take it to the court, and then we're waiting for, notices that they set a court date. So
Mr. Diazio, do we have any options there?
So our courts are busy, and they are currently scheduling about 6 to 8 weeks out. If there is an urgent matter, I'm sure that Scott and others have, a way of communicating that to the folks that work at the court. But the court volume is very high right now. They obviously handle code citations, they handle landlord-tenant issues, they handle police department matters, but both courts are very busy. And our two judges do a really nice job for Cheltenham. They're there, they're present. That's not the case with all district judges, but we can keep trying especially if there are issues that require urgent action. So
thank you for that.
We'll take it under
information.
consideration.
Scott, I interrupted you, Scott. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. We talked about the vacant property registration list for Emeritus Commissioner there, Pransky, right up the street for him on Webb Road. That has been an eyesore for many years. I'm happy to report that the property's been bought. It's been flipped properly with permits and everything like that, and sold, and a nice family is now living there, and it's a very nice looking house and property now. So occasionally we have a win here.
Glad to hear it. And on that happy note, perhaps we should end on a win. Not seeing any other citizens forum, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank
Good
you,
night.
everyone. Have a good evening.